like how you portray that like the relationship with the government on one hand, but also how enmeshed everything is in China with other companies, with relationships, with your social circle, with the government, with the provincial government. I mean, you have so many different layers of government, right? And the difference in China is that the government is the driver of innovation or the driver of technologies and so on. And I mean, this is your focus topic, right? The innovation, digitalization, and so on. And you also wrote reports on IoT, smart manufacturing initiatives in China, and so on. So can you share with us the development of these topics in China? What are the trends? What are your major insights of these reports that you wrote?
It's interesting, Amy, because one of the things, I would not say that the state is actually the driver of innovation. Mm-hmm. I think they facilitate innovation. Mm-hmm. And the way they do this is they, it's not like, okay, so in China you have SOEs, right? Mm-hmm. State-owned enterprises. State-owned enterprises. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense that the government owns these enterprises because they're considered very strategic. Mm-hmm. We're talking about oil, very strategic businesses. Yeah. Yep, minerals. But at the same time, what's good about their state capitalism is that China, the government is responsible for building all the infrastructures, right? We will build the roads, we'll build the buildings, everything else will build the infrastructure that then supports private businesses, right, including financial. Mm-hmm. So whereas here, yes, the government is responsible for infrastructure, but as you would know, even with Biden's Build Back Better initiative, that whatever $1 trillion, had a hard time passing in Congress, because in America, everything that is geared towards social or infrastructure, the question has always been, who's going to pay for that? Yeah. Meanwhile, we don't mind paying for wars that go nowhere. Yeah. What we spend in Iraq is maybe in the trillions, but maybe it's made us more secure. I don't know. But the objectives there were very vague. All I'm saying is that, I think our infrastructure is easily 100 years old, and there haven't been any improvements since then. Very different in China.
Absolutely. Yeah. On the other hand, you could say that, it's always easier to build something new that isn't there yet than to renovate the old. I know that, for example, for the metro systems, I know that, for example, Rome is suffering horribly. Every time they dug up a tunnel for a metro, they find some archaeological stuff and have to stop again for 20 years until the archaeologists can clean the whole area. But I absolutely agree with what you're saying. And back to the IoT and the smart manufacturing, what did you find? So how does it work in China? What were the results of your report?
Again, so China holds the most advanced manufacturing, especially from a capability in the world, right? And it's not abandoning that role anytime soon. I think they see manufacturing as very key. And a really good source of innovation. In fact, because of manufacturing and their investment in IoT, they are, scary that they are actually far ahead of AI and artificial intelligence and machine learning. Compared to the US, we're actually lagging behind China. And again, because it's a state-sponsored capitalism, right? I think that reform to capitalize started with Deng, right? Deng Xiaoping, maybe, and it's really, they've made a lot of advances compared to how long it took the US to become the economic superpower, right? In a matter of maybe 2 decades, China has risen from backwater country to an amazing manufacturing superpower. So, and I think from an innovation perspective, sometimes my colleagues and I would tease me and say, hey, Ken, there's really no innovation happening in China. America's inventing everything, right? And I said, yeah, you're right. You know what? And sure, China, especially in the beginning when China was just building up on its manufacturing, or maybe even till now, my colleagues would tell me, you know what, China has become really the global copycat.
Yeah.
They don't invent anything, but they make everything. So they leverage other people's IPs, other countries' IPs, and then they build on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there may be some truth in that, but the reality is, what they say, imitation is the best compliment, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in order for you to start somewhere, you're always copying
Mm-hmm.
somebody else's.
Yeah.
But the real challenge is after you copy, do you innovate? Do you improve? Do you modernize? Do you optimize? And I think China has done that, and that's why their investment in AI and ML. And the truth is, everyone, in my opinion, there's really no original
Mm-hmm.
invention. I mean, look at Steve Jobs,
Mm-hmm.
right? When Steve Jobs invented, the mouse, guess where he got the idea?
I don't know.
He went to Xerox labs, Spark Labs, and saw the mouse there,
Okay.
and he copied it and improved on it,
Okay.
and therefore came with it the whole graphical user interface, which back then, Microsoft was on the operating system was only on text-based, right? So he borrowed that, and in fact, in today's digital economy, what they say is usually a remix, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at something, copy it, and improve on it.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any shame in that.
Mm-hmm.
And also from a so I'm going to pause there. Let me know if you have any questions, because I think innovation, a lot of times China has been accused of not being an innovative company, and I think that's really not understanding the culture, or the real traits of innovation.
Yeah, definitely. I also think it comes from a perspective where people don't know the culture well enough to even judge that. And there have been lots of also New York Times articles about why China is so successful, because they are copying things as long as needed and improve until in the end they have a really workable product. Whereas, as the New York Times put it so eloquently, German engineers spend 5 years thinking without doing a single prototype, and then, whoops, it's too late. So different approaches. I think that's the point. And just what you pointed out, it's also culture related.